Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Cubezella here, and today we have a very fun and exciting Critter Cove video. Today we're going to be diving into 15 tips and tricks that all beginners should know. But before we're going to jump right into that, I do want to quickly say, just a friendly reminder, I'm a very small creator, so every little like and every little comment does help a tremendous amount for me. And if you do like this kind of content, maybe consider subscribing to my channel. And you can find me on all social media under the name Cubezella. You can find the links down below in the description box. But let's cannonball right into these tips and tricks. While you first start the game, you most likely will find yourself in the Critter Creator for a very long time, spending many minutes or hours being indecisive over what you want your character to look like. But rest assured, you don't need to be worried. You're going to be stuck with that specific look for your character forever. Later down the line, after you complete some quests and some requirements, you will unlock the ability to change your look of your critter at any point accessing a mirror. Just a small hint if you want one, this feature is unlocked after purchasing the clothing store. I'll add this as a tip integrated with this. Also, unlocking the clothing store will give you some more options and making your critter look a little more unique, because you'll be unlocking a rotating inventory of accessories and clothing. Do you think that the critter speech is cute and reminiscent of Animal Crossing nostalgia vibes, but you kind of find it loud and annoying very quickly? Yeah, I get it. While reading people's dialogue during my stream, I started to feel very overwhelmed and stressed out very quickly. But the good news was I found out two things to solve the problem. Firstly, you could completely turn off all critters speak, or you could lower the volume in the critters speak. I like the cute little dribble they spoke. I just didn't like how overpowering they were, so I myself opted to just turn it down a little bit lower. A lot lower. When you first arrive to Critter Cove, you will be able to choose from many homes. As you walk around Critter Cove, you will see many houses have a yellow arrow in front of it. Some of these homes will be located in very cute spots on your island, like the Umbrella Alley for example, but you're going to want to locate your home close to your workshop and the dock where your boat is located. There is a lot of back and forth that will happen, and making the travel time less will be a lifesaver. Trust me on this one, but this is the only advice. Choose what you feel like that fits you the best. For me, I pick convenience. You might be different. You will likely notice very early that there's no specific time you need to go to bed by. You can just stay awake all the time if you want to get more resources. The reason the bed exists is for your stamina. As you're using your tools, your stamina will decrease eventually, and you'll need to fill it back up, which you can sleep to refresh, or you can instantly revive your energy on the go by eating cooked meals or any food. Like most games, cooked meals will revive more energy than just ingredients, but use what you can to stay out longer and grind away. I highly recommend carrying food on you at all times, but I highly recommend it when you're exploring out and about in the island, down deep in the big blue sea, even more. The last thing you want is your energy to be holding you back from getting all that good salvage material. Storage chests and Critter Coves are interconnected and will be able to flip between each contents of each of your storage boxes just from accessing one of your chests. This makes it easy for dumping of materials, sorting objects into the correct boxes, as well as allowing you to take items from any of your storage chests just from one access storage bin. This mechanic being in the game means less running around to a billion different chests, as well as not needing to color code certain chests to remember what your storage container is for. While in the menu of your storage box, you will also be able to name each storage container a different name for any of your organization and separation purposes. What goes hand in hand with this is also getting the storage chest upgrade for on your boat. It does take some scrounging around for materials and accumulating 2,000 coins, but it does pay off significantly. This is not available right at the start of the game, but soon after you will complete some of the starter quests, you will be able to access your boat storage as well as your other storage chests. At least this is how it is operating at this moment in time in very early access, and maybe change later down the road. Having the storage bin in your boat will cut down your time during exploration a life-changing amount. No going home early because your inventory is full. One thing that I love about Critter Cove is that they have the same crafting mechanics as the My Time series, so if you're used to that, it's good news for you. While crafting, you will not need the necessary items on your person and in your inventory, as long as they're in your storage containers or in your critters inventory, it will pull manually from that. This also counts for the work tables and machines, but as well as your character crafting menu, which a lot of people forget after the start of the game. I am these people. I completely forgot that I can craft items I might need on the go. It's so nice, especially when it's underwater. While you're swimming, you'll have a meter that will measure how much air you have left before you start drowning. Once that runs out, you will start drowning and your health will lower. If your health drops all the way, you're going to pass out. Float to the surface and your bars will be all lowered. Right now there's a glitch and you're not floating to the surface. Just a heads up. It happened to me. When this happens, it won't be solvable by just a long nap or feeding your critter some food. It will have long-lasting effects, lowering your bars for a period of time. If this is something that is holding you back, you can sleep a few in-game days to get your bars back to normal, or you can just go about your normal day with lower bars. I will also mention that at this moment in early access, there is no fall damage in the game at this point, so jump from a very high place. You won't have any negative effects on your character or anything at this time. Something that I didn't realize myself for an embarrassing long period of time is pretty early on that you'll be able to unlock a lantern recipe. A lantern is an object you can craft and carry on your critter that will light up a small chunk of area around you. An even more amazing part about the lantern is that you can use this underwater as well, which Critter Cove nights are really already dark, let alone the underwater is even worse. Before I just had to put my critter to bed even when I had a full stamina bar because it was so dark out. As per the lantern right now at this point in early access, it does not expire and you only need to craft one once, which does seem too good to be true, to be honest. So who knows if it's going to get patched down the line and you'll have to craft maybe more and it will expire as time passes. In this type of early access right now though, they're not placeable items either. But this is also how I found out that we get a lantern because I tried to place it. So if you want to adventure around nighttime, I highly suggest getting yourself a lantern. They're pretty easy and you can find them to get the recipes pretty early on the two small little islands around Critter Cove. For most of this game, money is going to be your lover and enemy. Earning money is mostly catered towards tourism itself, but as alternative income revenue, some of the most profitable is selling cooked dishes. At some point at the start of the game, you will trigger a quest with Pokey that will give you a crafting recipe for a garden planter. So with the use of garden planters and the cooking station, you will be set to start turning these into profits. There will be certain recipes that this will yield more than others, but you will also have access to only certain ingredients, so I think that this will look slightly different for every player. A lot of recipes and prices I have at the time of this video and I believe will date very quickly, so I won't focus too much on them since it's in early access and everything can change, but I do highly recommend looking at the wiki for the recipes and the price points as well as the adjustments that may come in the future. Selling your cooked meals to Renard will be your easiest and fastest route to earning money, but as you progress with tourism on your island, you can buy a snack cart or the snack cart recipe from Checkmark that you can stock with specific cooked items to sell to your tourists, which also counts in your tourist income page that can be tracked as well as keep your tourists happy. As you progress with salvaging items, eventually you will find other types of carts that you can stock with different types of items. I won't spoil too much, but from what I have discovered, the snack cart can be stocked with fried chicken and jerky, and the popcorn cart can be stocked with salted nuts and popcorn. The resource finder is a very early on quest that you needed to complete that is given to you from Copper Bottom. You will be tasked with exploring the old and sunken workshop just off the coast of the island to find the artwork of the resource finder to learn the recipe. Once this recipe is learned, you'll be able to craft the item from your critter's own personal inventory on the go at any point. This includes deep water. As long as you have the materials in your inventory or storage back home, the items will expire after a few times using it though, so you're going to want to keep making sure you have stocked up piles of items for this resource maker. But the effects will last for a few minutes each time you do use the device. Once the device is used, you will hear a sound and see an on-screen visual indicating the device is active. Once you open your map, you'll be able to see the vicinity, the distance the finder was able to reach, and what items you can find in the area marked on your map for a small duration of time. This will help you with locating specific items. While you sometimes find the scuba tanks randomly while you're foraging and salvaging materials around the world to Critter Cove, there is an easier way to find more air tanks so you can calm your anxiety about not having enough air and drowning. You can use the item finder that I just mentioned in the previous tip to pinpoint where exactly they can be located and make sure you don't miss any when out and exploring, but one of the most trusted ways will be the Renard's shop. He will sell one empty tank every day that you can refill and start building up your stock of them. If you're not already aware, your tanks once consumed do disappear and do not appear in your inventory as an empty tank. Once the tank is used up, it's gone forever, and tanks are pretty necessary pretty early on if you want to explore any deep areas like the Sunken City, for example, which has a lot of items and recipes that you can learn. Every time there is a storm in your game, all shipwreck critters on the islands will be reset, so venturing out to see who's available after a storm will most likely be what you're doing. But do you ever get on the island and see who's there and you're not interested? Yeah, so am I. Well, you don't have to ignore them. You can actually still complete the quest and receive gifted items from them for helping them, and then choose not to invite them back to Critter Cove. Some items are worth having too. Not to mention you're not spending any of your own money, and sometimes you get some really unique and cool things. And I've received some pretty awesome furniture, including myself, from some shipwreck critters, so I can't complain. This game is designed and based on getting you to clean up and salvage everything, but I'm gonna say right now, do it for real, I mean it. Firstly, you're gonna need a lot of resources in this game, whether it's to complete quests for critters living on your island, or crafting items, completing quests, decorating your island and personal home to sell and to make money. You cannot do a lot in this game without money. The main goal of this game is to make Critter Cove a booming economy with a successful business venture. This game is heavy with management aspects like tourism. You will need to craft items to keep your tourists happy. You will need money to buy more tourist packages, to buy more tourist spots, and like the cafe, the clothing store, clothing shop, the tavern. Gathering everything isn't just about having resources. It's also about finding rare items around the world that can later be donated to the museum down the line when it's unlocked, or decorate and show off in your critter's home. But most importantly, you will need to have to dismantle objects to be able to learn how to craft these objects yourself, and most objects take dismantling that specific object many times before you're even able to learn how to craft. Friendship will be important in the game. Certain critters will have a certain likes and dislikes. As you level up the critter, you will unlock them requesting a friendship bracelet from you. Once you craft and give them a friendship bracelet, you will be able to track them on the map, which will be lifesavers since you will need to track them down your townies very often, as well as level your friendship up with them as much as possible. Eventually, you'll start to receive master keys from them. These keys are super important because they will likely be important later, nudge nudge, when you're exploring certain areas like the Sunken City and needing to unlock certain doors to gain access to certain areas or resources. These critters around town will also gift you items as well as post requests on the bulletin board in the main area, which will gain venture points with them, but also earn you some money. Sometimes they will also randomly be prompted to ask you if you want to buy a certain item from them that they found. Randomly shipwrecked boats will spawn out in the water and broken and about to sink many times, but it's very random. There will be many barrels and boxes floating in the water around the boat as well as inside. These will hold resources, sometimes crafting materials, and oftentimes cooking ingredients like flour, sugar, and salt. These are ingredients that you can use in cooking recipes, and you'll need as much as you can for your little critter hands to get on. Sometimes if you're lucky, there may be a chest or two located on the sinking ship that can give you some pretty decent loot. A pretty cool dynamic that the Critter Cove has added to the game is that these sinking ships will actually sink. Many times part of the ship will start sinking as I'm looting it and disappear. The barrels and boxes of ingredients will stay, but I've never seen a floating loot chest, so grab that loot chest as fast as possible. And with that being said, that wraps up our video. That was 15 tips and tricks for the beginners starting in Critter Cove that they just need to know. Thank you again for watching this video, and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Have a great day wherever you guys are. Good day. Bye.